The drama in Oxford will finally come to a close at some point today, as Lane Kiffin is expected to move on and head to LSU. The only question is, will he remain on to coach the Rebels in the college football playoff, or is he going to truly cut ties and move to Baton Rouge? Let's talk about it next here on the College Huddle. 87 independent podcasts from coast to coast, and you have landed on the mothership, home base, if you will, of the College Huddle. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let us know what you think about what we think down in the comments section below. This drama surrounding Lane Kiffin is unnecessary, to say the least. It's unnecessary. Lane is a really good football coach. But like I stated weeks ago, he's got a problem. And no, I'm not talking about some of the substance abuse problems he had before. Good for him for overcoming those. I'm talking about the fact that he is so dramatic about things. He's really a drama queen. He's a diva. Let's face it. He loves to be courted. He loves the attention. Twitter was made for people like him. There's no doubt about it, man. The constant trolling, the wanting the positive affirmation from people, um, the desire to be courted nonstop. These are traits of somebody who is quite frankly narcissistic. And look, I'll be the first one to admit you have to be somewhat narcissistic to be a college football coach. You have to be. If you want to be successful, it's one of the traits that I think a lot of really successful college football coaches actually have. Okay. But it is so draining on programs and fan bases. And such is the case for the fans of Ole Miss. Man, they are emotionally drained from all of this. Now, you're still going to find some fans who are going to be diehard supporters of Lane Kiffin. They're going to say all the nice things. Thank you for making us relevant. Thank you for bringing us back to, the relevancy and top 10 and things. But there's this thought out there. There's this thought out there that Lane Kiffin can't win a national championship at Ole Miss because Ole Miss is incapable of competing with the big boys. I think this year has dispelled that, obviously. I think that Kurt Signetti, what he's done at Indiana, has also dispelled that. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. Here is Joel Klatt yesterday on Big Noon Kickoff. This notion that he has to go, Lane Kiffin, excuse me, this notion that he has to go to LSU in order to win the national title, I think is false. And in modern college football, you can build a winner basically anywhere. He's proving it at Ole Miss. Indiana is proving it with Kurt Signetti. And then this is straight to Lane Kiffin's face, man. I mean, Joel Klatt straight up just slapped him across the face. Coach, you want to win a national championship? Then look in the mirror because it's right in front of you right now at Ole Miss. Those were some pretty strong words from Lane Kiffin, from Joel Klatt for Lane Kiffin right there. And whether you like Joel Klatt or not, that's beside the point. I think his analysis of this situation, at least in the realm of how Lane Kiffin is thinking, is absolutely 100% accurate. Now, LSU is about to make Lane Kiffin top 3, I believe it is, highest paid coaches in college football, maybe number 2. 9 years or 7 years, $90 million. There's rumors out there that Ole Miss was going to match that. Um, I don't know if those are true or not, but whatever the case is uh, for Lane Kiffin, he's about to get handsomely richer. He's already rich, but richer. And he's about to go down to LSU and take over a program where, up until Brian Kelly, the last 3 head coaches at LSU had all won national championships. Brian Kelly was never going to win a national championship there. Anybody Anybody outside of Baton Rouge could see that. Okay. Now, this is just the start of the dominoes falling now. Okay. And last night was wild. If you were following this story last night, it got crazy. So this is Ross Dillinger's tweets, and we're gonna go through his tweets here because, like I said, it gets crazy. As they now have for a week, LSU officials believe they hold Lane Kiffin's commitment to be their next head coach, though his desire to continue coaching Ole Miss in the postseason is a snag delaying the formalization of the move, sources tell Yahoo Sports. Oh, it gets better. We're just going to keep right on going. The meeting. So then Lane Kiffin goes and has a meeting with everybody, right? And this is the picture that was floating around the internet. The meeting, the Ole Miss Chancellor's home, drew interest on a cold, rainy, and dark night in Oxford. At one point, a dark SUV slowed to a crawl out front of the home, and a woman emerged from the passenger window, hanging out to snap a shot of vehicles out in front. Okay, is this some kind of like crime scene movie here? Like, what is going on? You got people driving by, snapping pictures, people hanging out of windows. Like this is like some serious Connor Stallion stuff here, SEC. What's happening here? That's freaking hilarious. It gets better. Here we go. But let's talk about where we go from here, right? For Ole Miss, Ross Dillinger does a great job, kind of laying it all out for everybody. AD Keith Carter has already begun engaging with candidates, notably John Summerall and Alex Golish. If you're not aware, John Summerall is currently the head coach at Tulane. Alex Golish is currently the head coach of Southern Florida. However, Florida pivoted from Kiffin to Summerall, as reported Tuesday at Yahoo. Gators are believed to have a deal in principle. Final decision Sunday? Ooh, that's juicy. So if Summerall goes from Tulane to Florida, which by the way, I don't think that's the right move for either guy, just to be completely honest with you. Um, that would be incredibly interesting because that means Florida moved on from Lane Kiffin. They landed on their guy, and they're going to go with their guy. They're going to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, less publicized about this move than what's happening with LSU and Ole Miss. Those are the two of the bigger names in the group of five schools. I still call them G5 schools, G6, I guess, technically, that are being courted by bigger programs. So, how does that affect Ole Miss at this point? That's a great question. The accelerated cycle, coupled with Kiffin's delay, puts the Rebels in a difficult position as so many coaches have resigned or are in negotiations with others. Re-signed, not resigned, re-signed. Auburn remains in a similar position. USF coach Alex Golish, despite deep talks with Arkansas, remains unsigned. And then we finish up with this final tweet. If Golish goes elsewhere, Auburn or Ole Miss, Arkansas is expected to shift attention to candidates it previously interviewed, such as Memphis coach Ryan Silverfield and Alabama DC Kane Womack. At Auburn, interim coach DJ Durkin remains a candidate for a full-time job. So those are the I guess you could say information dump that Dillinger had last night. I thought it was all really good, pertinent information for what's happening in this crazy coaching cycle. Let me say this in closing. I want to say two things. First, let me talk about this cycle. Second, let me talk about Lane Kiffin, and I'll close with that. I don't like this coaching cycle. This is unfair to players. It's unfair to fans, and it's unfair to the game. Tulane and USF are having great seasons. But because the NC Stupid A moved up the transfer portal window and made it one window, that happens in December, which is quickly approaching as we're in the last day of November, it accelerated athletic directors firing and hiring new head coaches in the middle of seasons, which is tainting the game, if you ask me my opinion. If they were going to move to one transfer portal window, why in the heck isn't it placed after spring ball? And I know the argument's going to be made, hey, you have some schools are in quarters, some are in semesters, and that transfer window just doesn't work out in the academic calendar. When did college football honestly care about an academic calendar? Answer me that one. They didn't. They don't. Okay? They absolutely do not. This was a dumb decision, and now the game is suffering the consequences from it. Kids are suffering the consequences from it. The same kids who you said who you supposedly think about when making all of these decisions, and then the fans suffer it from it as well. So stupid decision. Number two, Lane Kiffin. Is Lane Kiffin a top three coach in college football? I do not believe he is currently. I do not believe he currently is. Is he a top five coach in college football? Argument can be made, maybe, depending on how things kind of went this year. Is he a top 10 coach in college football? Absolutely. He absolutely is in the top 10. Debatable top five, top three? I do not believe so. Maybe knocking on the door, depending on if you have him at 4 or 5 in your top five, whatever. At LSU, will he be a top three coach in college football? I think there's a very good chance he could be. But do you have to be a top three coach in order to win a college football national championship? The answer is no. You don't. Not anymore. The college football playoff at 12 teams gives you the opportunity to basically be a top 15 coach, a top 15 program that can find its way in there, which Ole Miss did this year. And if you peak at the right time, you get a little luck, you're healthy, who knows? You could go win this thing. But Lane Kiffin is throwing away part of that legacy that was building at Ole Miss to chase in his mind what he thinks is a better opportunity at LSU. And in the process, let's be honest, he's really hurting his image that he, for the most part, had started to rebuild positively. And now, guess what? One of the, I guess you could say, programs that people love to hate, LSU, and one of the coaches that people love to hate in Lane Kiffin are going to be married together for better or for worse. And if you've been watching this soap opera, you all know this is going to end badly. Let me know what you think about what I think down in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed your great college football Saturday yesterday. I had an amazing day. That's why I don't have much of a voice this morning. But appreciate y'all. We're going to head out to church. Have a good day. We will be back with another video tomorrow here at the College Huddle. Take care.